Good morning! I am Hazel Ann Claveria, your English teacher applicant for Junior High School. Before we discuss our lesson, let me remind you the following. Number 1, respect. Number 2, if you want to answer, please raise your right hand. And number 3, listen and follow direction. Okay, let's proceed. Last meeting, we have already discussed about selecting a limiting topic, looking for sources, making bibliography, and making an outline. Last meeting, I have told you to read about The Little Prince and the Fox. So, this is a very interesting story, one of my favorite story in literature. So, I hope you will enjoy it. Class, who among you here has a good friend? Yes, Casey? Okay. Yes, Miguel? Okay, so everyone has a good friend. So, how well did you know your friend? Very much? Okay. So, how long does your friendship works? Years? Months? Okay, very good, class. So, every one of you has a friend. Of course, I know. Even me, I have a friend too. So, this topic is related to the story that you will be reading later. Okay? So, let's proceed. Class, let us first know the meaning of the following words. Please read. Okay. Now, let us see if the answers of your classmates are correct. Who answered Tang? Okay, correct. No longer one. Neglect. Who answered neglect? To fail to give a proper care attention. Correct. Sigh. Miguel, did you answer sigh? To take a deep audible breath. Correct. How about burrow? A whole dot as a living space by a small animal. Casey? Correct. Right. Ceremonial act answered by Michelle. Okay, correct. Essential. Necessary, important, answered by Alden. Okay, correct. Very good. These are all correct. So, what kind of part of speech is thing? Is it noun, verb, adjective, or what? This is a adjective. How about neglect? Verb. How about sigh? Verb. How about borrow? Noun. Very good. Next, right? Noun. And essential is an adjective. Okay, very good. Class, how do you find the activity? Was it hard to find the meaning of the words? Okay, so the words posted a while ago are included in the excerpt that you will be reading now. And at the same time, I will let you to watch a video clip. This story is an excerpt from the novel The Little Prince, written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, which is about friendship. But before that, let me first tell you our objectives for today. Class, at the end of our interactive discussion, you will be able to identify the sensory images used in describing the characters in the story. And number 2, you are going to express the importance of sensory images in real-life situation. And number 3, you are going to create a blurb using sensory images. So now, I will be giving you an excerpt as your guide after watching the video clip a while ago. So, for you to be guided in reading, here are some questions to be taken note. Number 1, who are the characters in the story? And number 2, how are they described in the story? I repeat, who are the characters in the story and how are they described in the story? Okay? So, you may now begin. Let us see if you really understood what is the story about. So, who are the characters in the story? Yes, Myra? Okay, the Little Prince and the Fox. Very good. Thank you. You may now take your seat. Next question. How are they described in the story? Yes, Paolo? Okay, they are described in the story through their dialogues. Okay, very good. You may now sit down. Thank you. What's another answer? Yes, Julie? Okay. Their descriptions are made us or made the readers visualize the pictures. Okay, very good. So, for us to know fully the story of the Little Prince and the Fox, let's have again an activity. Okay, so let us divide the class into 4 groups. So, please count off from the last row. Okay, so this is for group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Please go to your respective groups silently. Okay, listen now. This activity is called sensation. So here, you are going to describe the Little Prince and the Fox by writing sentences that would appeal with the 5 senses, which are hearing, sight, taste, smell, and touch. Okay? Here is my instruction. Please listen very well, okay? So for group 1, you are going to describe the Little Prince by writing sentences that would appeal with the sense of hearing, sight, and touch, okay? For group 2, you are going to describe the Little Prince by writing sentences that would appeal with the sense of taste and smell, okay? Is that clear? So let's move on to group 3. Group 3, you are going to describe the facts by writing sentences that would appeal with the sense of hearing, sight, and touch. And for the last group, group 4, you are going to describe the facts by writing sentences that would appeal with the sense of taste and smell. Okay, is that clear? Are there questions? Okay. I will be giving you a manila paper and markers for each group, and you are going to paste your answers around the illustrations of the Little Prince and the Fox. Okay? You may base your answers on the story that you have read earlier. So you have only 10 minutes to do the task. Okay? 2 minutes to present your output, and tell me why have you come up to that answer. And I only need 2 representatives to present your output. Okay, is that clear? Any questions? If you have questions, please approach me, not with your classmate. Okay, so you may now start. Time's up. Okay, let us call the representative of group 1 to present their output. Okay, very good. So let's give group 1 amazing clap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. Very good. Let's proceed to group 2 to present their output. Okay, very good. Let's have a superb clap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Superb. Okay, very good. Let's call the group 3 to present their output. Okay, thank you very much. So please give group 3 a yes clap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, let's call the last group to present their output. Very good. Let's give group 2 an outstanding clap. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Outstanding. Okay, very good class. So let's give everyone a champion clap for being cooperative and active during these work activities. Okay? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Champion! Okay, very good. Settle down. Please take your seats. Arrange your chairs. And now, let's focus on our discussion. Based on the activity that you have did earlier, what have you noticed about the sentences that you have written? Okay, very good. So, it tells about our 5 senses. Okay, what else? Okay, we create a mental image about it. Okay, very good. The sentences you have written earlier created a mental image about the characters in the story, which is the Little Prince and the Fox. So these images are called, who can guess? Okay, please raise your right hand if you want to answer. Yes, Julie. Okay, so it is called sensory images. So, what do you mean by sensory images? Please read. Okay, I'll repeat that the sensory images are images formed when the author uses descriptive language to engage one of the reader's 5 senses. So class, the keyword here is descriptive language and 5 senses. Please take note of that. To Stephen King, sensory imagery does not occur on the writer's page. It occurs in the reader's mind. To describe everything is to supply a photograph in words to indicate the points which seem the most vivid and important to you. So the writer is to allow the reader to flesh out your sketch into a portrait. So here, the Little Prince and the Fox, we visualize their image. Okay? Let's proceed. So we have 5 types of sensory imagery. The first one is visual imagery. From the word visual, vision, what do you think? It is all about to see. Okay? So we visualize, it is the capacity to see pictures in the mind's eye with a high degree of controllability and detail. So going back on the sentences that you have written earlier about the Little Prince and the Fox, what are the evidence that appeals with the sense of sight? Yes, Miguel? Okay, so the senses there, when the Little Prince and the Fox saw each other. Okay. The type of sensory imagery is the gustatory imagery, which is all about to experience a variety of flavors when recalling memories of edible and inedible material. So based on this meaning, the gustatory talks about the sense of taste. So going back in the activity earlier, what is the evidence that talks about gustatory? Yes, Paolo? Okay, so the sweetness of the flowers lingers in the memory of the Little Prince. So very good, thank you. You may now take your seat. Class, in gustatory imagery, we recall or we form images by recalling a kind of flavor. Like for example, the aroma of a coffee. You cannot see it, but you know already what it is. Okay? Because of what? Because of its smell. Okay, very good. So let's proceed. What is the third type of imagery? Yes, Manuel? Okay, auditory imagery. Listen, class. Capacity to hear in one's mind a melody with a high degree of accuracy in pitch, timbre, and rhythm. The individual is also capable to remember particular textures belonging to human voices. So from the word auditory, it means about audio. So it talks about listening. Going back in the activity that you have done, what is the evidence that talks about auditory? Michelle? Okay, so the facts compliments by the Little Prince but shrug it off. Okay, thank you, Michelle. You may now sit down. Next. So, what is the next type of imagery? Yes, Mambo. Please stand. Read. Okay, thank you, Mambo. You may now sit down. So, tactile here talks about touch or tactile imagery. Yes, Freya? Okay. So, the evidence there is when the Little Prince touches the flower, every petal on it. Okay, thank you. You may now sit down. Okay, let's now move on to the last type of sensory imagery, which is, everybody, olfactory imagery. Okay, when we say olfactory, this is the capacity to recall a particular smell in a wide range of odors by particular memories. So again, let us go back to the activity that you have done earlier. What is the evidence there that talks about olfactory imagery? Yes, Marian? Okay, thank you, Marian. So the olfactory imagery there is when the smell of the unique flower, which is the rose, added to its beauty. So now, you already know about the types of sensory images. So let's proceed. So what do you think is their importance in one's life? Okay, everyone is raising their hands. Please give chance to other. Yes, Marian. Okay, so the importance of it is we cannot visualize without picture. Okay, very good. Next, any other answers? Yes, Bella? Okay. What have you learned about sensory imagery? Yes, Camila? Okay. So always take note that sensory imagery uses descriptive language. To portray everything, to give meaning to a picture, you need to look for the image. Okay? So that is the importance of sensory imagery. Now, let's have an activity where you can apply your knowledge about sensory imagery. So listen, with your partner, your seatmate probably, you will write a blurb about the little prince. So class, a blurb is a short description that praises something so that people will want to read the story. Meaning to say, make your story be interesting, okay? So, write at least 7 sentences. Make sure you use at least 3 types of sensory imagery in your blurb, okay? So here, I'm going to write your blurb in a 1/2 sheet of paper. So somebody will ask if Mom 1/4, Mom 1 whole. No, I told you 1/2 sheet of paper. So meaning to say that is crosswise. So you have only given 5 minutes to do the task. Here are the criteria that I will be using to check your work. Number 1, use of sensory images, that is 5 points. Correct sentence grammar, 3 points. Organization, 2 points for a total of 10 points. So after you answered that, please pass to me and let's have a quiz after. So you may now begin. Okay, are you done? Please pass your papers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, are all papers in? Okay, please get 1/4 sheet of paper and number it from 1 to 10. So you will be answering a closed test. You will supply the missing words in paragraph that I am going to dictate it to you. Okay, wrong spelling is wrong. Since this is an English subject, you need to observe the spelling. Okay, so number 1. The Little Prince was written by blank. The Little Prince was written by blank. Number 2, 3, and 4. According to blank, blank is images formed when the author uses blank. Again, according to blank, blank is images formed when the author uses blank. That is 2 to 4. Number 5. To engage one of the readers, blank. To engage one of the readers, blank. Number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are blank, 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 and blank imagery. Please pass your papers. For your assignment, you are going to recall one of the most memorable experience in life. You are going to describe it by writing 5 to 7 sentences in your notebook relating sensory images that we have discussed. Okay, you're going to apply it. And then, another assignment is study about figure of speech and give example to each. Okay, so that is all for today. Please arrange your chairs, pick up the pieces of dirt, and then erase the writings on the board before I leave. And tomorrow, we'll have a new lesson, so I want you to be prepared on that. And do not come or do not get in my class without preparation and if you are not ready, okay? So, goodbye class. See you tomorrow.